Welcome to the Report for Tiger Mountain, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about the great Anschluss. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump is in an annexing mood and he's gone full empire. We're going to talk about that tonight on the Report from Tiger Mountain. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the great Anschluss. Tim was joking with me before. Should I use that term? Yes, because it's cheeky. I like using a cheeky term like that. Anybody who knows the history knows that the Anschluss refers to when Adolf Hitler joined Austria to Germany and was pretty much welcomed, you know what I mean? And he made it into the Greater German Reich. So I think Donald Trump is in a bit of a Anschluss mood. He's got his eye on three territories, ladies and gentlemen. He's got the Panama Canal, which obviously the Americans did build, and now they're being taxed to the hilt and charged through the nose to use it. So, I mean, I think he's fully within his rights to snap up the Panama Canal. I don't think that would even be that controversial if he were to take that. The other thing is Greenland, ladies and gentlemen. Now, that is going to be a bit more controversial because it's currently under the control of Denmark. Now, obviously, he's going to have to do some horse trading if he's going to get Denmark to go along, and he'll probably have to wait to take power. Or, I mean, he could. I mean, obviously, what's Norway going to do if he decided to invade Greenland? Norway's not going to do anything, but it would be an extremely unusual move for an American president to essentially, be in a war kind of footing with another European state. So I imagine that will be solved diplomatically. Maybe there's some kind of deal Norway can enter in with Trump, and Trump, as we know, likes a good deal. And then, of course, is the situation with Canada, that Trump has joked that Canada should be the 51st state of the United States. Now, I mean, that's even going to be a bigger deal. I can't imagine anything like that happening in the next term, unless there was some kind of referendum where the Canadian people decided to join the United States. I can't see the Canadians doing that, but it's possible, it's feasible. And, of all the territories, that would be the one that is most like an Anschluss, so to speak. When Austria became part of Germany and formed the Greater German Reich, if Canada were to join America, in a sense, it would represent a greater American Reich. And, to all the people who say that Donald Trump is a little bit Hitler-like or a little bit fascistic, well, there you go. Maybe in that sense he is slightly. Obviously, I don't think he will invade Canada. I don't think he will seize it by force, but he may do it diplomatically. And maybe he's just talking shit, putting people on the back foot. That's something Donald Trump does also. He keeps them on their toes because he has another agenda, that he's interested in getting through. So, but it's a very interesting situation. And I will say this, I think term 2 of Donald Trump is going to be full empire. Because he's got the House, he's got the Senate, he's got the Supreme Court. He's going to be quite imperial, in this term. And it is even possible that America actually becomes an empire and moves from a republic to an empire. And I don't think he'd do it straight away, but it could happen before the end of his term. So, in a similar way that Rome went from, being a republic under Julius Caesar, and then, under the Caesars, it became an empire. So that is something Donald Trump could do. Obviously, it would be incredibly controversial, but America, in a sense, is an empire already. And so, in a sense, it would just be more honest. And in a sense, if Donald Trump is taking Greenland, or is at least going to extend his influence into Canada, he's going to snap up the Panama Canal. That, in a certain sense, legitimizes what's going on with Ukraine, with, for example, Russia's claim on Ukraine. I would say that Trump will probably give in and allow Putin to take most of Ukraine. I imagine he will also allow China to take Taiwan. And, in relation to the two Koreas, maybe, as long as, say, Kim Jong-un were to make concessions towards democracy, if he were to claim South Korea, that is possible as well. So we are in an interesting time where the strong men of the world are making their claims. And this ties into what Alexander Dugin has spoke about with a multipolar world, where you have, 3 or 4 centers of power. You have, say, the Russian center of power in Russia and Ukraine and some of the surrounding territories around Russia. You have the Chinese sphere of influence, which is obviously China, countries close to China and Taiwan. And then you have the American sphere of influence, which is obviously America, Canada, Greenland, Panama Canal, maybe even Mexico. Though he would never attempt to take over Mexico because that would be a lot more trouble than it's worth, ladies and gentlemen. And for some reason at the moment, that's run by a Jewish woman by the name of Scheinbaum, who I don't think is going to get along too well with Donald Trump, but we'll have to wait and see. So, it's a fascinating geopolitical time. But I'll tell you what, something is changing. And pretty much Justin Trudeau went and had a meeting with Mar-a-Lago with Trump before he has taken office. And essentially, I don't know how they did it, but Justin Trudeau's been pushed out. And it appears to me that someone above the pay grade of Justin Trudeau, which is essentially some kind of globalist leader or globalist bigwig, cabal leader, has told Trudeau to resign. And that's what he's done. He's now resigned. He's just stepping down as the Prime Minister of Canada. So something is afoot. And we have entered, I believe, a new geopolitical situation. And essentially what's called the globalist era of mass globalization and mass immigration, that time, I think, to a certain extent is over. And we're entering a more nationalist kind of imperial period of global politics. And that's also going to have a ramification for us in Australia. There's been many memes going around that Australia should become the 55th, because by the time Trump's finished, there'll probably be 55 states. That's possible as well. There's no reason Donald Trump could not incorporate us into the greater American Reich. What do I think of that? On the surface, it's funny and I welcome it, but it's probably a way more serious topic than what I'm joking about here. And it's something we'll have to talk about on another issue if Donald Trump actually is serious about it. But he is clearly extending America's influence, and he's letting people know these territories are ours or under direct control, whether they will be incorporated into the greater American Reich or whether they will just be, key allies like America and, the UK and Australia already are, the Five Eyes in those countries. All right, so that's it. That's my examination of the situation with the Great Anschluss. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again on Report from Tiger Mountain.